The storm hit the city like a warning from the sky, cold, violent, and heavy enough to make entire streets disappear behind curtains of rain. That was the night Grant Wilford, a millionaire CEO known for his sharp suits and even sharper schedule, saw something that made him stop his car in the middle of the road. A woman stood on the sidewalk holding two small children close, all three of them soaked to the bone. But what froze Grant wasn't the rain, or the trembling in the children's hands. It was the woman's jacket. He recognized it instantly. It was from a mission no one had ever come back from, including someone Grant once loved more than life. And in that moment, inside the roar of the storm, his entire world shifted. Before we dive into this emotional and incredible true style story, make sure to subscribe to True Story Tales for more real, powerful narratives that touch the heart. Don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts, and share if this story moves you. Your engagement helps us bring more inspiring stories to the world. Grant Wilford wasn't the kind of man who normally stopped for strangers. His life had been built on discipline, boundaries, and carefully drawn lines that he rarely crossed. He was a man who started with nothing, climbed his way up, and believed that every minute wasted was a step backward. But that night, as he slowed down and opened his car door, none of his principles mattered. The woman looked up, startled. She had long, dark hair plastered to her cheeks from the rain, and her arms were wrapped desperately around her two children, a boy and a girl who looked no older than 6. Their lips were blue, their clothes were drenched, and the boy clutched a small backpack like it was his whole world. "Are you okay?" Grant asked, shouting over the rain. She hesitated, as if she didn't trust her own voice. We just need somewhere warm. The shelter was full." Grant glanced again at her jacket. Military style. Faded. And on the left sleeve, stitched into the fabric, was a symbol he'd seen years ago when his older brother, Noah, left for a classified rescue mission overseas. The same symbol that had been on the jacket returned to the family months later, charred, torn, and folded inside a box. A box that meant Noah wasn't coming home. Grant swallowed the lump in his throat. "Get in," he said softly. "All of you. Please." She looked unsure, but the little girl tugged her hand, shivering. "Mommy, I'm cold." That was all it took. They climbed into the car, and Grant turned the heat up until warm air filled the small space. The kids slowly stopped shivering, and the woman closed her eyes as if she hadn't felt warmth in a very long time. "My name's Grant," he said. "I'm Mia," she replied. "These are my twins, Lily and Lucas." Grant drove them to his home, a large, modern house with tall windows and a stone fireplace that flickered with soft amber light. He rarely brought anyone there, let alone strangers. But something about Mia felt familiar. Not her face. Not her voice. But her presence. Gentle. Protective. Like Noah's. Once inside, he handed the twins dry towels and warm clothes from the guest room closet. He made hot chocolate, the way his brother used to make it for him when they were kids, extra marshmallows, a pinch of cinnamon. As they sat by the fireplace, steam rising from their cups, Mia kept pulling the old jacket tighter around her, almost like she was scared someone might take it. Finally, unable to hold back his curiosity, Grant asked, "Where did you get that jacket?" Mia froze. The twins looked up at her, as if they knew the jacket mattered but didn't know why. Mia placed her cup down carefully. "It belonged to someone who saved my life." Grant felt something tighten in his chest. "Where?" Mia took a long breath. "Afghanistan. A village near the mountain ridge. 15 of us were trapped after a blast. He carried me out. I was the only one he reached in time." Her voice trembled. "He put this jacket around me because the night was freezing, and then he went back for the others." Grant's throat burned. Do you remember his name?" She nodded. "Noah Wilford." The world seemed to tilt. For years, Grant only had a brief, official report, no details, no personal accounts, just the cold summary of a failed mission. But now, sitting in front of him, was the woman his brother had saved. Someone who lived because of him. Someone who carried the last part of him, the jacket Grant had buried in the back of his mind. He couldn't speak for several seconds. When he finally did, his voice cracked. Noah was my brother. Mia covered her mouth with her hand, eyes filling with tears. He talked about you, she whispered. During the hours we waited for rescue. He said his little brother was stubborn, brilliant, and too serious for his own good. She smiled softly through the tears. He was proud of you. Grant's eyes blurred. He looked away, blinking hard. He hadn't let himself cry for years, not even at the funeral, where everyone called Noah a hero. Grant had always believed he could have done more, maybe convinced him not to join the mission, maybe changed fate somehow. But hearing Mia speak, it was like Noah's voice was in the room again. For the first time in a long time, Grant didn't feel alone. The storm continued through the night, and Grant insisted Mia and the twins stay in the guest rooms. They needed rest, safety, warmth. And perhaps Grant needed something too. Something he hadn't been aware of until that night. The next morning, Grant found Mia in the kitchen, trying to make breakfast quietly so she wouldn't disturb anyone. The twins sat at the table drawing pictures using crayons Grant bought ages ago for charity gift bags but never used. You don't have to cook, Grant told her. Mia smiled politely. I'm used to taking care of things. We've been on our own for a while. Where's their father? He asked gently. Her smile faded. He left when the twins were babies. I worked 2 jobs, tried to keep up, but when the rent went up and the bills piled higher, we couldn't keep up anymore. We've been staying wherever we can. Shelters. Friends' couches. Sometimes the car. I didn't want the kids to feel unsafe, but life doesn't always give you choices. Grant nodded slowly. I understand more than you think. The truth was, before Noah joined the military, their family barely made it. Their father worked factory shifts. Their mother cleaned houses. Noah used to skip meals to make sure Grant had enough. Kindness wasn't something Noah did, it was who he was. And now Grant felt that same pull inside him. That same desire to help. Over the next few days, Grant found himself rearranging meetings, staying home more, and spending time with the twins. Lily had a love for drawing that reminded Grant of his mother. Lucas was curious about everything. He wanted to know how machines worked, how buildings stood, how elevators didn't fall. He reminded Grant of himself as a child. And Mia, she tried to help wherever she could. Folding blankets, washing dishes, offering to repay his kindness in any way she could. But Grant never let her. He didn't want payment. He wanted connection. Healing. A chance to honor Noah the way he never had. One afternoon, as Grant worked in his office, he overheard Lucas asking Mia, Mommy, are we staying forever? Mia knelt beside him. No, sweetheart. Mr. Grant is just being kind. We'll find our own place soon. Grant stepped into the doorway. Actually, I was hoping you'd stay a little longer. Mia looked surprised. We don't want to be a burden. You're not, Grant said gently. You're family. At least, that's how it's starting to feel. Her eyes softened, but she didn't speak. Over the next weeks, Grant helped Mia find a stable job at one of his company's community outreach centers, work that allowed her to use her compassion and strength to help other struggling families. He enrolled the twins in a good school near his home, and every day when they returned, they ran into the house with laughter that filled the quiet spaces Grant once ignored. His home no longer felt cold or empty. It felt alive. Then one evening, Mia approached him with something folded in her hands. The jacket. I think you should keep this, she said quietly. It belongs with his family. Grant touched the worn fabric. For years, it represented loss, grief, and unanswered questions. But now, as he held it, he felt something different. Closure. He would have wanted you to have it, Grant whispered. You're the reason he didn't die in vain. They looked at each other, both with tears they didn't need to hide. Sometimes, kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about opening a door. Offering warmth. Giving someone a chance when the world has given them none. No, I had